The West Memphis Three, A Tale of Fear, Injustice, and Small-Town Hysteria. On May 5, 1993, in the small city of West Memphis, Arkansas, three 8-year-old boys, Christopher Byers, Michael Moore, and Stevie Branch, disappeared without a trace. What followed would become one of the most controversial criminal cases in American history, leading to questions that still haunt the justice system today. The sun was setting on May 6th when a grim discovery was made in Robin Hood Hills, a wooded area near the Blue Beacon truck wash. In a muddy creek bed, police found 3 small bodies. The boys had been stripped naked, bound ankle to wrist with their own shoelaces, and appeared to have been brutally beaten. Christopher Byers had suffered the most severe injuries, with horrific mutilations to his body that shocked even veteran investigators. The community was devastated. Parents kept their children indoors, and an overwhelming fear gripped the community. In the beginning, the police focused on more conventional suspects. They interviewed family members, known sex offenders in the area, and even investigated a suspicious black man seen at a nearby restaurant on the night of the murders. Local authorities began hearing whispers about satanic ritual abuse, a fear that had gripped many American communities during the 1980s and early 1990s. Enter Damien Echols, Jason Baldwin, and Jessie Misskelley Jr., 3 teenagers who would soon become known as the West Memphis Three. Damien Echols was 18, an intelligent but troubled young man who wore black clothing, listened to heavy metal music, and had an interest in Wicca and alternative spirituality. Jason Baldwin, 16, was Echols' best friend. Jessie Misskelley Jr., 17, was only peripherally connected to Echols and Baldwin. On June 3, 1993, after a 12-hour interrogation, Jessie Misskelley Jr. confessed to participating in the murders with Echols and Baldwin. Miskelly got multiple key details wrong, including the time of the murders and how the victims were tied up. He changed his story several times during the interrogation, and no lawyer or parent was present despite his age and intellectual disabilities. Despite these red flags, Miskelly's confession became the cornerstone of the prosecution's case. Miskelly was tried separately in January 1994 and sentenced to life imprisonment plus 40 years. The trial of Echols and Baldwin began shortly after. The prosecution's case relied heavily on circumstantial evidence and testimony about the teenagers' interest in occult practices. The defense struggled against a tide of satanic panic, a moral hysteria that had swept through America in the previous decade. On March 19, 1994, both Echols and Baldwin were found guilty. Baldwin received life imprisonment without parole, while Echols was sentenced to death. The 1996 HBO documentary Paradise Lost: The Child Murders at Robin Hood Hills brought national attention to the case, raising serious doubts about the investigation and trials. DNA testing conducted between 2005 and 2007 found no physical evidence linking the West Memphis Three to the crime scene. Instead, a hair consistent with Terry Hobbs, Stevie Branch's stepfather, was found in the ligatures used to bind the victims. Multiple forensic experts concluded that many of the wounds originally attributed to ritual abuse were likely caused by animal predation after the bodies were left in the creek. After years of appeals and new evidence, prosecutors finally offered the West Memphis Three a deal. On August 19, 2011, they entered Alford pleas, a legal maneuver allowing them to maintain their innocence while acknowledging prosecutors had enough evidence to convict them. They were released with time served, having spent 18 years in prison. The West Memphis Three case has had a lasting impact on American criminal justice. Damien Echols, Jason Baldwin, and Jessie Misskelley Jr. have tried to rebuild their lives since their release. Meanwhile, the families of Christopher Byers, Michael Moore, and Stevie Branch continue to seek closure and justice for their lost children. The case of the West Memphis Three remains a cautionary tale about the dangers of allowing fear and prejudice to override justice and reason. If you found this deep dive into the West Memphis Three case interesting and want to see more true crime content like this, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Drop a comment below sharing your thoughts on this case. Do you think justice was served? Don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest uploads. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.